I have never told this story and I never thought I would. It's a really hard topic, but it's my story of going to college, moving in my freshman year. I had just turned 18 and within 2 weeks finding out that I was pregnant from my boyfriend back in New York.
Erin, what are you here to talk about?
I'm here to talk about Housewives, Mezcal, and to tell you a story I've never told.
Let's start with Housewives. How has your life changed in the last 18 months since the first season of this reboot came out?
A lot of things have changed, but also a lot has remained the same. I feel like I'm the same person and I still have the exact same values, but I almost feel like I have a responsibility now. Things that I say hold a little bit of a different weight. You know, people are kind of watching. So in that way, I feel just more responsible.
When you looked back at the first season, did anything surprise you in how you came across? Or were there any moments where you're like, oh, is that how I act?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm like, I'm not that much of a tough bitch. Like, I'm so fun usually. And like, what the hell? Overall, I say what I think. I really don't hold back. I'm very honest and upfront. And I don't know how to be different.
Tell me about the Real Housewives of New York group chat.
It can get a little heated on the group chat, although this season it's been very tame and more informational, and I think it's very pleasant. Uba and Bryn send the most memes. They speak via meme.
The Real Housewives franchise is just made to be memed. What was your favorite from last season?
I mean, the Tribeca, it's there. Is it there? It's there. That whole thing was amazing.
And what do people tag you in?
Shakshuka still.
Oh.
It's shakshuka constantly. Cheese, shakshuka, Tribeca I get tagged in a lot. I like that though. I'm all about it. Tag me away in all your shakshuka recipes.
Do you have that recipe out into the world, exactly how you make it?
There will be some news coming soon, but I might be releasing a whole slew of recipes. So.
Okay. When you talk about ventures, there's been two things that you've been very open about that you've taken on. One in the world of tequila, mezcal, and one in the world of real estate. Talk me through both those.
So for me, real estate is ingrained in my ethos. My mom is a real estate agent. My dad's a developer. And I went to school for sustainable development. So for me, it was I can't give this up. I've been doing it for so long, I could do a deal in my sleep. And then mezcal has been such a joy. I started this business with my husband. It was born on the beach of Tulum. So hence the name Mezcaloom.
Yeah.
In a year and a half, we've done so much. I literally could pinch myself. I can't even believe it's real.
What mezcal cocktail would you put with shakshuka?
That's a good one. Well, not more tomato based. So I'd say, maybe with orange juice.
Okay.
Yeah, little breakfast drink.
There's a reason you're here today, and there's a reason you've come to Glamour to tell a story that you haven't told before. What is that?
Oh, God. I'm nervous.
It's okay.
I have never told this story, and I never thought I would. It's a really hard topic, but it's my story of going to college, moving in my freshman year. I had just turned 18, and within 2 weeks finding out that I was pregnant from my boyfriend back in New York.
Share what that was like for you.
Well, I've always been very, very in tune with my body, so I think I knew really early on. I immediately went, I got a test, and I literally remember the feeling washing over me in my dorm bathroom, and I just lost it. I was sitting on the floor for maybe an hour and a half, hysterically crying. Just what am I gonna do? Oh my God. It was so terrifying to me. I had a boyfriend that was a freaking bartender, wild promoter. He was not going to be a stable father. I had no friends. I was too scared to tell my mom. It certainly wasn't telling my dad, and I didn't know what to do. So I researched. I literally went on my computer and was like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm in college and a freshman pregnant. What do I do? And Planned Parenthood popped up, and my boyfriend at the time came up, and I had an abortion.
It's saying those words out loud.
It's hard. It makes me emotional.
What was that process like for you at the time? You were 18, you went to Planned Parenthood.
Terrifying. But also, I felt like I had support. I remember the doctor, the woman that was caring for me was like, you caught it early, there are options. I actually just was able to take these pills. She was like, you're gonna bleed a lot. And I was terrified and I was hysterically crying, but I felt supported in that moment that I had options. The fact that I was able to make a choice. Physically, it was awful because I saw everything. It wasn't like a surgery. I saw everything come out, which was just literally traumatizing. I never spoke to my boyfriend again.
That was it.
I couldn't. Something broke inside me, and I just didn't even want to have any connection to it. Then I just drank a lot.
Which is not unusual
In
for
college.
college freshmen.
Yeah, so like I forgot about it for a little while.
Did you tell anybody in your life at the time besides your boyfriend?
No one.
Why?
I think I was mortified. I think I was just like, what is wrong with me? Like, how could I let this happen? How could I be so stupid? There's so much shame around it. There's so many conflicting emotions that go into that process. And I think I just needed to get through it to even talk about it.
When did you start telling people in your life?
I told my mom after a year, and I'm gonna cry. She was hysterical, and mostly because she wished that she could have been there for me, you know? She was like, why didn't you tell me? And the most beautiful part about it was that she said, it happened to me too.
Oh.
It felt like women supporting women. Like, even though she's my mom, like, she wanted me to know it's happened to me too. She really never talked to anyone about it either. I found out she was, I think, 19 and terrified. She had just moved to LA. Like, everybody has a story. I would bet that most girls have a similar story, even if it's just like plan B.
You're a mom now. How do you feel your life would have been different if you didn't have that abortion?
So that's where things for me get really tricky and really kind of sensitive because I am a mom. It like kind of breaks my heart, Sorry.
You got this. You got this. You got this. No, it's really powerful.
I remember when I had my first child, looking at him thinking, like, how could I have done that? I wouldn't be where I am right now, and I wouldn't be the mother to the children that I have right now if I hadn't have gotten an abortion when I was 18.
At Glamour, we often don't hear from the men about their abortion story. We did a piece with GQ when Roe v. Wade was in contention, and it was maybe some of the first time I've heard men share their stories. And it was interesting because I think the onus is like looking back as 18-year-old Erin and being like, this is important because I tell you my story. But there was also the bartender promoter part of that story.
Poor guy. He came. He came to school with me. He went through the whole thing with me. He really did. He was really supportive. And I think that's also something, I mean, not every guy's going to be this nice, but I think that's also something to think about. Like I did tell him about it and I said, will you be there with me through the process? And he said yes. So that was nice to have that support because it was both of our doing together.
It's both your abortion story, not just yours. You say you love Shabbat dinner. You're out and about in New York. When you're at dinners like that, and whether they're friends or acquaintances or cast members, and the topic of abortion has come up, what have you stayed silent? Have you jumped in? Does it depend on the crowd?
Well, it definitely depends on the crowd because typically my dad's at Shabbat dinner and he does not know.
Your dad does not know.
My dad does not know.
How do you feel about him finding out?
My dad is a single father of my 4 siblings, and like for him, he doesn't care about anything except for us. Like kids are number one, so I feel like it's going to be a hard conversation.
Will you tell him before?
I guess. Shit.
No, I think it's really interesting that you shared with your mom a year after, and it is a interesting dynamic. And going back to what we talked about, men's abortion stories, that you haven't shared this story.
I'm like, we're so close. I'm such a daddy's girl, and I don't know. Maybe it's a mix of like shame, embarrassment, but also like not wanting to upset him. And just like not wanting him to know. And also like, it's not like I'm like, hey dad, I just had sex with my boyfriend. Like it's a weird thing to talk about anyway. And now he got me pregnant. Like, oh God.
That's going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
He'll be looking back at this woman who's a mother many years later. How do you think he'll take it?
I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be really supportive. I think he'll understand why I'm doing it. My dad is a very open-minded person, but it's still scary. It's still like, I wish I didn't have to talk about it with him, which is interesting because we talk about everything, but I don't know. It's different.
We do know that 1 in 4 American women by the age of 45 will have an abortion. But at the same time, there's not a lot of stories out there. Why are you choosing to tell yours?
I felt like if I didn't have this conversation and open up about it, I mean, what kind of woman would I be? I think the more stories that are out there, especially from influential people, the more relatable this becomes and the more people can understand it. It really rocked my world, this whole, like what's happening now in our environment. I mean, 21 states have banned some sort of part of the abortion process, if not all of it. Forget about just choice for girls like me, but what about someone who's suffering or, it has a high-risk pregnancy? I mean, it's just, it goes so far beyond just my experience. And it's scary. It's scary to be a woman. If such a fundamental right could be stripped from us, what else can? Mm-hmm. That's what's been going on in my mind. What else will be stripped from us as individuals? And the thought of more fundamental, especially in healthcare, rights being taken away really freaks me out. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't be forcing people to do anything they don't want to do, especially bring a life into this world. Look, I'll say this. I can understand the other side in the sense that a life is a precious thing, right? It shouldn't be a flippant decision. It's a precious thing. And, you know, it's a tough decision. I think what people don't realize, or a lot of people that are pro-life feel like, you know, people are just making these decisions left and right. And it's like, you know, anyone can just go walk in and get an abortion. I think it's really difficult for women. And maybe not everybody talks about that.
Have you had that conversation with somebody that's extremely...
Where am I going to find one of those in New York?
Yeah, I
got to travel to find those people.
We are in a little bit of a New York bubble.
We are.
Do you see it as a political issue?
No, I don't. I see it as a health issue, a healthcare issue. Even not for just women who are making a choice, but for people whose lives are at stake. I mean, there are life-threatening pregnancies sometimes. Abortions are necessary.
Does that mean up and down the ballot you will go for somebody that's more pro-abortion than...
Yes.
Do you think people will be surprised at that?
I don't know anymore. I mean, listen, I think that what I don't love about our society is that people don't look at issues as complex. Maybe I have differing opinions on one topic, you know, or I can have empathy for the other side of things. But, you know, in this particular situation and this, you know, topic, I feel very, very strongly about.
Does that mean that you want to vote Democrat in this election?
I don't want to talk about how I want to vote, but I have always been a Democrat.
Because there was a lot of conversation. And the first season, that was the kind of conversation that was happening in the background, not necessarily on set. How did that make you feel, or is there anything you want to clarify?
Look, I think a lot of people are single issue voters. I don't want to make that mistake again, but I was thinking about my family, and I don't even know. I don't think I fully understood the implications. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've obviously learned a lot since then.
Do the other women on the cast of Real Housewives know your story?
Nobody knows except for Rebecca.
And do you think they will be surprised? Is that a consideration as you come in to tell this story?
I actually feel really comfortable talking to them about it.
Jenna was quoted in The Cut defending you, saying that you were not an election denier and not a Trump voter. How does that make you feel?
I'm very emotional today. What's happening? Jenna's been a really good friend. And I think we had some troubles this year, mostly because of someone else. I think that's why partially it was so hard for me to get through, you know, sort of a breakdown in our friendship, because she's been such a good friend and so supportive, and she knows me. So for her to go into an article and really talk about me the way I actually am, because she knows me so well, it meant the world to me, you know? It really did. It made me fall in love with her a little more.
There had been a lot of conversations about your previous donations to the Trump camp. We were at Women of the Year and you posted a photo of Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton.
Can you believe?
Online, and there was a lot of discussion on that. How did that make you feel? And are you interested in telling people where you stand politically?
I don't want to talk about politics because I feel like I get in trouble. But what I will say is I've admired Hillary Clinton, and I think Chelsea's wonderful. And I posted just a very cute video, I thought, and I got dragged, like, for days. For literally days. So it's like, you can't win. You just can't win, which is why I think I decided to be here today. Because, you know, if you can't win anyway, you might as well just speak your truth. I don't know. I find it very interesting that no matter what, people have something to say.
How are you going to protect yourself?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'll be honest. I am. With this in particular, I'm a little bit nervous. I definitely have a thicker skin. I hope that this is healing for women. I hope, you know, if there are girls watching this in states that are in question, that they know that I'm here supporting them with my story. I don't know what else I could do to, obviously I'm, you know, not in politics, but, you know, I did work in the state assembly.
Do you ever run for office?
I mean, maybe one day.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably not.
Mayor of New York?
No, but I know someone who may want to.
Okay.
Very close to me.
Okay.
It was a dream of his. Could you imagine?
I mean, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Could you be a first lady of New York?
That I could be.
Right.
That I could do. All the outfits, I could do that.
Erin, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
taking
for
the
having
time.
me.
And thank you for coming to Glamour to tell what is a really hard but really personal story. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.